All right.
Thanks for Supersonic. This is whatever help you.
You guys sell the patties individually here, right? Just the hamburger patty?
Yes, sir, we can.
Can I have 6 of them with 6 pieces of cheese?
You want the big one or you want the junior one?
The big ones. 6 big ones with 6 pieces of cheese. And Route 44 Coke Zero, light ice, please. Easy ice.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, I was calling that out.
Route 44 Coke Zero, easy ice.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
I have 6 side meat patties with 6 cheese and around 44 Coke Zero easy ice.
That's right. And you don't have to put them all in separate containers. You can just lay them all in one hot dog container like long ways, 2 on top of each other.
So you want like the meat cheese together?
For me.
Okay, it'll be right out.
Thank you. Go ahead and check this blood glucose. Okay, the meter is loaded. See what my sugar levels are. Ooh, it always gets me. Always catches me off guard. Sugar's 88. I won't get my ketone strips until later. They're coming from Amazon today. I had to order a package of 50 of them, which I don't like, but we'll do this testing and stuff appropriately. So, now we wait for the food. Should be coming. Where I'm at now is because my employer decided that he didn't want to pay me. One of my subscribers on here, Daryl, actually looked up the Louisiana state law. And he said, that guy can't do that to you. And it states right in the bottom of it, it says, no matter if you got a paper agreement with somebody, no matter if you have a verbal agreement with somebody, it does not matter. Your employer cannot hold your money from you. And you must be paid your full pay. So some of you that don't know, they're just may tune into this video now because it popped up on your algorithm or something like that. My employer, I gave him a 4-week notice. And they decided yesterday to wait until I got done with a big $8,000 job because I was really the only one that could do it. They decided to fire me. And with that being said, people said, you know what, if that's the case, then you need to go right to the unemployment office now because you're going to be unemployed between now and the following week, Tuesday, at least it's some kind of money. And you need to contact the labor board, let them know everything that's going on, which I did. And they said it's hairy when you get into this situation because we cannot force an employer to pay you your full pay per hour. All we can do is force them to pay the amount of time that you were at work times minimum wage. At least it's something. And then beyond that, you take them to civil court or something of that nature. And I said, I don't really want to do all that. I just want the guy to pay me my money. And then Daryl sent me the the article that was online that said they can't do that to you. They actually have to pay you unless you deliberately and willingly destroy their property. They cannot take your money for any circumstance. So Louisiana state law is saying the exact opposite of what the labor and the labor board says. They're saying they have to give him at least 2 more weeks to pay, and they don't have to. He doesn't have to pay the full amount that I was getting for my hourly wage. The only thing that they can force him legally to pay is minimum wage times the amount of hours I worked. So, with that being said, what do? You keep doing the best that you can, and you try to get results. Where's my? I'm waiting for the food to show up. Well, I tried ordering it whenever I first pulled up. We'll see. Mukbang it. Mukbang lunch. So I've been a little bit down and out, over the last 24 hours because of the situation and everything that's going on. Trying to keep my head up, keep moving. I got a good deal on the U-Haul. U-Haul's only gonna be like $560 one way from Louisiana to Chicago, which is not bad actually. And then I'll probably be staying in a hotel for a little while. Until I can get enough money put away to put a down payment down on our first and last month rent.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Ben.
How are you?
Beef patties and cheese.
Have you had anybody come just order meat patties and cheese?
I had a few orders with no bun. It's kind of have to bring up the sides.
Yeah, I do that carnivore and keto eating.
Yes.
I've lost like 140. I've lost track now. 140 some pounds. Yeah,
That's great, sir.
yeah, it's easy. All you gotta do is just cut out all the junk. I mean, this is not the healthiest, but
Yeah. Just all that unnecessary.
quit eating sugar and the breads, pastas, rices. I can't even handle a lot of vegetables. I gotta eat a lot of meat.
Oh yeah,
A lot-
I'm the same way, to be honest.
A lot of people just eat meat, salt, and water. I think they shed weight like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to get on the diet like that, actually.
I mean,
I'll be right back to the
yeah.
kids.
He's got to come back with my change. Got to come back with my change. Oh, heaven. It's been so long since I was able to just drink whatever I wanted, and it's nice. It's nice having to just not worry about food, Just worry about the dogs, what I'm going to feed her. Last night I fed her what's called beef trimmings, but they ground it up like ground beef. I took beef trimmings, and I took about 1.25 pounds. I took about 4 or 5 chicken livers. How are you? I took about 4 or 5 chicken livers and put it in there for her. I took some gizzard and put it in there for her, and then I took a little bit of chicken. I took some chicken with the bone and put it in there for her so she can get her digestive tract moving and stuff like that. Yeah, it's unfortunate about the job. I mean, but what are you going to do? It's when you have employers that want to take advantage of employees and they try to be above the law. I stopped by there today and I dropped off my uniforms, and they're trying to tell me that I owe 11 pants and 11 shirts, and I said, wait a second, that don't even make any sense. I had 8 shirts and 8 pants when I started there, and now y'all are telling me I owe 11 shirts and 11 pants? I mean, they're just trying to find any kind of way to get money out of you. Any kind of way. And I was like, whatever, dude. I mean, show me some paperwork saying that I got 11 and 11 and I'll pay the extra. But I don't remember getting 11 pants and 11 shirts. And they're like, oh, yeah, you got to. I said, no. There's a reason why there's 8 pair of pants here and there's 8 shirts. I mean, I only had 8 and 8. And the lady comes every Tuesday. And I said, they owe me 2 weeks' wages at my guarantee. So with the company, when I came down here, my boss said, regardless if you turn 35 hours a week or not, maybe it's a bunch of slow weeks. In this town, there's a lot of slow weeks because there's not a lot of business. He said, regardless of what you turn, I'm going to pay you 35 hours a week at $32 an hour. That's what I'm going to pay you. Now, if you turn more than that, I'll pay you more than that. That's fine. But minimum, if you only turn 25, in order for me to have you on staff with your certifications, I will pay you 35 hours a week, $32 an hour. And as you get certifications, I will increase your pay.
All right, sir. Sorry about that, Lee. You gotta have a great day, all right?
$2. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
He says, I will increase your pay as you get more certificates. Never happened. Never one freaking time did it happen. Never one freaking time. Never. And then, you know, all this happens, and he's telling me, oh, I'm going to take your week's worth of pay when I sent you to school, and I'm going to take the next 3 months prorated a percentage away from your pay, and then maybe you might have something left over, but probably not going to happen at all. So Daryl overnight sent me Louisiana state law, and it says on the bottom of Louisiana state law, an employer cannot hold expenses for school, it cannot take money out of your check, they cannot do any of that. They have to pay you. They can't even hold money because of a written agreement when you leave. If you leave before your written agreement's up, they can't. It even says in it, there is no binding contract that can stop an employee from receiving their full pay, what they earned. It says it right in it. Well, I don't understand where this guy's, where he's getting his information from. But when I went there today to turn in my uniforms, oh man, they just stuck them all on top of each other. Gosh dang it. I messed up my darn cheese. Shit. Anyway, they decide they're above the law. So I've contacted a few attorneys today. Yeah, Bart was Bart's my guy, man. Me and Bart have known each other for a little bit now. I've known Bart probably longer online than most people, and that's only been a few years. But I knew right away when I met Bart that he was the real deal. And I know a lot of people don't care for his attitude or whatever, but that's just Bart. A lot of people don't care for me. I'll tell y'all a little story while I'm sitting here eating this, if you want me to tell you a story. I was part of another group called Carnivore Keto Diet. I showed up when they had 300 people that are eating the most junk stuff that you could possibly find and calling it keto. I stepped in and I said, guys, this is not good. This is not healthy for you. So the creator of the group said, we'd love your help, man. We have been watching your videos, and you almost sound like Dr. Berg when you explain a lot of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, please don't compare me to Dr. Berg. I could care less about what Dr. Berg has to say, really. But anyway, I was drawing, you know, the hypothalamus, hypothyroid, your thyroid glands. I was drawing the pancreas and liver and showing people how everything's shuttled. I was doing full-blown diagrams and stuff on the internet and showing people this stuff, and they're like, how do you know all this? I said, well, study. Read science. You'll figure it out. It doesn't take a doctor or a genius to figure out how things work. If you wrap your mind around something, you will figure out how it works. So they were like, dude, you know this stuff. And I was like, well, I'm just trying, man. You just got to try to learn. Try to learn, and you'll figure it out. And you'll put two and two together. And if you have a profession where you have to use your brain and you have to use pathways and mechanisms and things like that, you'll figure out how things work. It's just going to make more sense to those type of people. Well, that's what my job is. I'm a master mechanic. I care nothing about how you think it should work. I want to know how it works. I want to know the mechanistic path flow. I want to know why it does what it does. I want to know, when it malfunctions, what's happening, what's going on, what signals are not being received, and what's not being sent out because of the problem. So whenever I wrap my mind around that, I compare it to what's going on inside the body. It's very similar. And I took over the group, and I started actually directing the path flow of the group. We started gaining subscribers. I didn't own the group at this point. I want to. I really want to. But people started coming in. I got the group up in just a couple months to, not me, but people joined. About 3,000 people joined, 3,500 people joined. And then Jordan Peterson and Joe Rogan had a podcast. All kinds of people started coming in on that after that podcast. I'm talking 100 to 300, 400 people per day. So people were really taking off. People loved it. They loved my attitude. They loved how I engaged everything. They loved how I was no bullshit kind of person. And people were coming just hundreds per day. Hundreds per day. I started getting stressed out with the group and stuff like that. No help. I brought a few admin in. Little did I know they were backstabbing and kind of scheming behind the scenes. Now, fast forward a bunch. I don't want to tell you guys the whole entire story unless you asked to hear everything that happened. I got removed from the group. I was the one that was holding the group together, basically. I was the one answering every single question with 17,000 people that popped up. I was there every single day answering every single question. The other admin were not there. The admin I put on staff or basically brought onto the admin group were not there. So it got to a point where I was doing a lot of stuff on my own. And I got tired of it. I was getting stressed out. They could tell, so they removed me from the group. Now, the doctor that I put on board, Dr. Abby Campbell, yes, I will say her name, Dr. Abby Campbell, is a naturopath. She's backstabbing the group, and she's sucking members out of the group and sending them to her own personal private group, because they recently brought me back and they said, look, people aren't getting help the way you helped people. Just come back. Just come back and be a member and help people, if you will, for a little bit, and we'll see if we can't get you back on the admin board, because you really did help a lot of people. So I came back, and I'm helping all these people and stuff, and I'm a threat to the doctor that's on the panel, Dr. Abby, because I know 10 times more about this stuff than her. She's not very active. She was learning from me when she came there. She actually asked me to help co-write a book for her because the doctor that was co-writing the book for her wasn't showing up to write his part of the book. She wanted me to do the foreword, all this other stuff. So they offered me back into the group. I started answering all these questions right away. I'm, as a member, not an admin, treating it like it's my group again, helping all these people, and people are like, oh my God, we love you, you're back, thank you for being here, like, we've missed you, where have you been? And I don't want to get into all the drama about what happened before and the politics behind it. So they let me back in the group. I'm helping all these people. People are starting to become very, very happy. And then I submit a post about Eddie Hall going keto, the world's strongest man. He lost 87 pounds and he loves keto. And he's still like he's powerlifting like a madman still, except now he's all shredded at like, I don't know, 330 pounds or something like that. The dude's got like an 8-pack and huge arms, and veins are starting to bulge out of his arms and stuff like that. And he loves keto. Finally, an article was written on it. So I put it on my personal page on Facebook, which is called Keto Nation Official. That's my public personal group that anybody can go to, even if you don't have an account. And I shared it into that group. And she sent me a really rude message that said, if you can't follow the rules, or if you can't do something, yada, 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 our rules or whatever, you're going to be asked to, we're going to have to part ways and terminate your position in the group. I said, simple, I'll leave then. I'm not trying to promote myself. I was simply sharing a post about a celebrity, the world's freaking strongest man, talking about how powerful keto has been in his life and how it's helped him lose so much weight. What am I trying to promote? I'm not trying to promote myself. I don't care if people ever click on my stuff. I was promoting something from a very strong standpoint, from a professional that's known all over the world, world strongman Eddie Hall. And you mean to tell me that's promoting myself. So I got removed again. This time people were really, really pissed off and upset. Somebody created a post. I have 6 or 7 other Facebook groups that I run of my own, that I actually own. They're little test groups. Like one's called Carnivore Diet Reset, or Carnivore Reset, and it's basically carnivores that want to try different things out. Okay, I went 14 days carnivore, red meat, salt, water, blah blah blah. I supplemented whatever I had to, but now I want to add some avocado in my diet, and I want to see how it affects me. I want to test my sleep, my blood sugar, my life cycle, or my daily life living, and I want to keep an accountability up to date. So I had my avocado. I checked 2 hours later. My blood sugar did not shoot up. I felt great. It actually gave me more energy. This is what this group, the little small group, is about. It's about testing things after you've eliminated for so long, you know, months and months of the carnivore diet, and then you want to add stuff back in to see how it affects you. I thought it was a smart thing to do. There's not a group out there like that, so I created a little small group. It's only got about 300 or 400 people. It's a little test group. Then people were coming to me saying, you know, there's an awful lot of swearing and stuff in the group sometimes. Could you create a group that was just specifically for people that were like carnivore Christians or something like that? And I said, you know, I don't really want to alienate this group, but I do know there is a place for people that want cleaner living. So I said, I will create that. So I created that group. Then I created another group that's for new people. Then I created another group that's for boot camp, people that really want to be told what to do. They want you to break your foot off in their ass. Tell them what to do. So I said, okay, we're going to do boot camp. You're going to have weekly assignments. We're going to meet on Fridays. We're going to talk about all the different types of sugars, all the different types of carbs, how they affect the body, what's going on hormone-wise, and we would meet every single Friday. I would give them assignments. Every Friday, people would show up with their homework, and we would all go over it together. Okay, Sarah, Nick, Tim, Beth, everybody post their stuff right now. I want to go over it, I want to review it, and then we're going to go review it together as a group in a chat box. And it was great. I was teaching these people in a school-like manner, and they loved it, and they were really catching on to it. And here we are years later, and people still thank me for what I did back then. So I'm not sure what that means, if that's good or bad, Ryan. I'm not familiar with that term, tribalism. I'm not. I create stuff. I create content, and I move. You know, regardless if it's good or bad, that makes no difference to me. I create things that help content move, and that's my whole mission. Regardless of what people think about it, I don't care. I just want to move content. So I'm in this group, and this doctor feels. Okay. I mean, I don't know, Ryan. I just want to move content, and whatever people want, I'll cater to that as long as I can get my message out. You know what I mean? I want to heal people. I want people to just get the message. If somebody said, would there be market for grass-fed Irish lamb beef in the USA? I mean, there is. We do have it here, but it's not. It's expensive here. They rob you here. It's like $17 to $25 a pound. So, but if you find a local farmer and you buy a cow, he'll work with you. You might even be able to get it for like $8 to $9 a pound, which I have found that. So I'm removed from this group, right? Again. And one of the admins there said, you know what, that's wrong. What you guys did to him before was wrong. What you're doing to him now is wrong. And he's a really, really good Christian. He's actually a minister. He preaches. He said, I will not be part of this group anymore. What you just did to this man the second time, I'm not going to stand behind. I'm going to go to his group. I'm going to be happy in his group where he lets people talk freely and he doesn't police everybody and everybody can voice their opinion. And this is wrong what you did. So he left. Well, I get a message the other day from one of the members that says this is what she's doing. She's recruiting behind the scenes to pull people out of the group because they're afraid that I'm going to come back to the group and I'm going to take over and she's not going to be an admin anymore. I'm a threat to her. Dr. Abby Campbell, I am a threat to her. What a joke. What a joke. She says, Richard's the know-it-all that thinks he knows everything and he's still over 400 pounds. I started this at 400 pounds. Yeah, I'm over 400 pounds, right. This lady's an idiot. She got a pretty face and a slim waist, and she ain't got nothing going on upstairs. I don't know. Dr. Abby Campbell's her name. I'll give her a shout out. She's got her new group that she's spamming people on and trying to get it to go to. I think she had like 133 people last I checked. And it's called Carnivore Keto Wellness, something like that. Why don't you all go join the group and tell her how you feel about how she's such a shill and a liar and a fraud, and how she's been using the group to recruit people so she can finish writing her book, and how she's going behind the back of the admin there and taking people from the group so she can fill her own group. So that's the dirtiest type of person that you can deal with is a liar and a con artist together. This is so good. This really makes my day. I think it comes out to about 140 grams of fat, like 110 grams of protein or something like that, and it's just perfect, spot on. I don't feel hungry until tomorrow. I won't pick up anything and eat again. If I do get hungry, I might have like a couple little small pieces of cheese, but I'll track it. I'll make sure I keep a count of it. Some pros. Yes. Some pros to this. Some pros to what I'm doing right now are the food tastes amazing. Super simple. It's not very expensive. The fat, the macro ratios are perfect. Now, actually, my bowel movements are even better than what they were before. Hard block cheeses, natural cheeses, and stuff like that seem to stop me up a little bit. But when I eat this processed cheese, it's probably got some kind of soy oil or something in it. I don't have any problem at all. Completely no struggle or anything to use the bathroom. It helps actually. No problem sleeping, no problem with my mood, no problem with my ketones. My ketones shot up. Normally on carnivore or keto, my ketones are right around 0.8. Since I've been doing this, I'm on day 5, my ketones are up to 1.6, 1.5 every single day now. I started at 0.3. Second day I was up to 0.7. The third day I was up to 1.0. The fourth day I was at 1.2. Today I used my last ketone strip. I'm up to 1.6 or 7 or 8 or something like that, somewhere in there. It's been substantially going up because it's 1 meal a day, 6 patties, 6 pieces of cheese, a Route 44 Coke Zero, and I don't eat any other time. I just fast until the next day. If I want some water, I drink some water, but I really don't even do that. So, super easy. And my numbers just keep getting better and better. Downfall to this, though. The deeper I get into ketosis, the more I get into this fat burning stage, I'm getting little pimples that are popping up on my arms and my legs. I would call it dirty carnivore, or just call it keto, or what. I just call it fast food eating. I don't care. I don't really like giving things a name, honestly. You'll probably hear me. I'm probably the only one that talks about stuff social media-wise in an aspect where it really bothers me that people keep making up names for stuff. Just tell people you eat food. Tell them you eat, I eat meat and cheese every single day. And if they want to know what you're saying, if they want to know about your diet, they'll ask about it. This keto carnivore, keto vish, carnivish, carniclose stuff, man, that bothers me so much because so many new people see it and they're like, wait a second, I'm going on Google and I'm looking up what carniclose is. They don't explain that stuff. Call it carnivore, call it keto, and if somebody wants to know how you do like if you were to say just now, so what kind of carnivore do you do? Well, I do a kind of like a dirty style carnivore. I'm not really like super clean. I just eat meat and cheese every single day. It's not the best, but it works for me. You probably should try a cleaner way than the way I'm doing it. And then people are like, oh, okay, I understand. But if I was to say dirty carnivore, and then they go try to search it on Google, they have to ask 10,000 questions just to figure it out. It's more confusing than just saying I do carnivore. And then when I say, well, what do you tell me you're carnivore? And I've presented this to the other people that teach these other keto groups and stuff as well. I said, look, y'all are making this way more difficult than what it has to be. I've been doing this for 15 years now, and I've never seen so many people so confused in my life because everybody wants to fit. Like you said, actually, I'll take your word on this, Ryan, when you said tribalism. That's exactly what this comes down to. People are trying to create some kind of individual saying and group that represents them to make themselves feel like they fit in. And I don't see the need for all that. If somebody's interested, they'll ask questions. I do keto or I do carnivore, and that's it. I don't feel like alienating people. I don't want to make people feel like they're doing anything better or less than me. You know, I get messages every single day because of this experiment that I'm doing for 14 days, and people hate that I'm doing it. They literally give me hell that I'm doing this. People have sent me emails and messages and everything else talking about the science, and here's the literature, and I'm worried about you, and I'm this. Don't be worried about me. I'm living great right now. I'm loving what I'm doing right now. I'm so happy doing what I'm doing right now. Please. But I've been low carb living for since I was 17. I'm 33 now. You know, I did go for 2.5 years where I ate whatever I wanted. That's when I gained the weight because I got hurt in Iraq. And I just kind of got depressed and didn't care anymore. But then I went right back to this. That's when I got up to almost 400 pounds. Vitamins. But people get so worried about what I'm doing, it's crazy. Heaven. Oh my God. Oh man. That's amazing. But it is what it is. I find that there's a lot of people in this movement in general, keto and carnivore. Yes, In-N-Out, yes, or Smash Burger, or Five Guys, or Jack in the Box, I think, or something like that. But I know after this experiment, and how much I've enjoyed this, I'm going to start actually getting a lot more sliced hard cheeses and burger patties, and I'm not going to be doing so many steaks from now on. I'm going to actually save myself some money because I really enjoy this, and I'm performing very well in the gym. This is not actually causing any kind of lack of energy or anything. It's almost freeing me up, and I've got plenty of energy. But I find a lot of people that are doing keto and carnivore, they like either one type of crowd. It's either super strict and dogmatic, or very loose and dirty and caring. And I'm like, I don't see the point in all that. Why? Why can't you just be neutral and just realize now that I've done it as long as I have, and I've seen all the mistakes that I've made and other people have made. Just help people when they want help. Network when you can network. Learn something when about you know, something that you might not understand. Like I didn't understand this dirty stuff. I didn't understand why people like doing this every single day. You know why? Because they get results. Just by simply losing weight, everything else changes in the body in general. So no matter how healthy it is, if you're dropping weight, chances are, guess what? Your markers are going to change as well. You know, some people say you're damaging yourself on a cellular level because of what you're eating. There's not enough stuff in here that's going to damage me on a cellular level unless I was eating it every single day and I was eating it all day. I'm eating it one time a day and I'm fasting the rest of the day. My body cleans itself out and repairs itself faster than the normal person, substantially, because of how deep in a fasted state I am. The next time I eat, it's almost like a sponge, and then all of a sudden it goes right back to repairing itself. So all this, oh, you're damaging yourself on a cellular level and all this stuff, I understand people are. I've lost, so the first day I started this, I weighed myself. I've lost, as of night before last, 3.5 pounds within 3 days. I already lost over 3 pounds. And no, was it day 4? So yes, I am losing weight because I'm in a huge caloric deficit. You know, from my size, I still got a lot of weight around my midsection, but my neck, my face, my arms, my legs, most of the fat's all gone and all that. It's right in my freaking midsection now and it won't go anywhere. So like, that's the hardest part for me. And I kind of was listening to everybody else about, you know, don't do the caloric deficit thing. It's not accurate. Calories in versus calories out is the key. It's not the key. It's quantity over or it's quality over quantity. And I'm thinking to myself, that sounds right, because I've done the calorie deficit stuff before and it never worked. Now I'm doing the calorie deficit stuff and it's completely working. And you know what I think it all comes down to? Stress. I'm not stressed about my food right now. I'm not obsessing about my food right now. I already know what I'm going to have tomorrow. 6 patties, 6 pieces of cheese, and a Route 44 Coke Zero. No stress. No obsessing. Done. Over with. No problem. And that simply is people's #1 biggest problem, is they obsess and stress about food. I don't have to do that. And you know what happens when you're stressed. You don't lose weight. So I'm on day 5. I'm not getting tired of it. People were projecting that by the end of the week I would already be getting tired of it and not wanting to do it anymore. Are you kidding me? When you eat something that's like this every single day, and then you fast for 24 hours, your body's not tired of it. Your body's almost craving the next day all the fat and protein that you were eating. You're not going to get tired of it. Now, if I ate this 3 times a day, that's completely different. I would probably get tired of it, but it's 1 time a day. I messaged her privately. So here's the thing, Nona. And I'll talk about this a little now, and then I'll go over it. I'll actually create a video about this to explain what's going on. People that have blood pressure problems sometimes can. Okay, let me backtrack. Nuts in general are very calorically dense. The omega-3 to the omega ratios, the omega-3 to omega-6 ratios are way off. You might look at an almond and it might show 17,000 units of omega-6, but only 100 units of omega-3. You know, if we were to talk about, I gotta turn some air on because my phone's getting too hot, it says. Try to blow a little bit of air at the back of the phone, try to cool it off a little bit. So if we were to look at omega-3 ratios and omega-6s in most nuts, they're way off. It would indicate a really pro-inflammatory state. But what the fats that are in nuts do is they actually reduce your blood pressure. They reduce your blood sugar. They help with all that stuff. So now that Mel has found something like a mixture of nuts that work for her, there's a lot of people that can't eat a lot of nuts like that and not gain weight. because a lot of people, they'll reach in, they'll grab a handful and they'll eat it. They'll grab a handful, they'll eat it. They'll grab a handful, they'll eat it. And before you know it, they've already consumed 400, 500, 600 calories worth of nuts, and they still haven't even ate their food for the day. What she did was she found a fat that's healthy for her heart, that's good for her heart, that's not acting in a pro-inflammatory way, and it's helping reduce her blood sugar. It makes sense what she said. So now what I want to see, is I want to see if she does it every single day. Does she keep getting the same results every single day? You know what I'm saying? If she's, it's the healthy fats that are in the nuts that are helping control all this. It's the nuts itself, because they're supposed to be heart healthy. So in that instance, that's exactly what's going on in her body. She was waking up with blood sugar problems every single day. Not extremely high, but somewhat high. Let me wipe this lens off again. It wasn't extremely high, but it was somewhat high. And when she started eating, handfuls of nuts, like she said, it went down. And it's been, it went down. It was at 88, and now she does it tomorrow. If it's down at 88, this is something that she probably wants to incorporate in her diet, because she's not getting enough of those healthy fats that really work with the connectivity between your cellular level, right? So if you get monounsaturated fat, polyunsaturated fat, those are fats that are heart healthy. The different types of nutrients and stuff that you find in nuts are what help control blood sugar and things of that nature. So that's why it's working for her. A lot of bikers driving through. And another thing, whenever you eat the same thing over and over again, don't you think your body's going to get good at processing the same thing over and over again? That would make sense, right? So that's probably why my body's getting so good at dealing with this, because I'm eating the same thing over and over again. It doesn't have to think about, it's already used to eating the same food every single day. Okay, that is the carnivore mukbang, dirty carnivore mukbang. Now I got to try to figure out what I'm going to do with myself for the next few days before I start packing up. Probably going to go to the gym a lot. Love you too, Nona. You know what? We can be our worst critic sometimes, and we can be our best friend sometimes. And the thing that I like the most about doing this with carnivore and keto people is no matter what, we all still find some kind of way to come together and just try to make it work. Even if you're super dogmatic and you hate somebody at one time, you just can't stand the way they do things. At some point, you still learn to appreciate exactly what it is that they're trying to do. Regardless if it's how you do it or how somebody does it, or if it's not even really correct, you eventually learn to appreciate what every single one of these people are trying to do. Vegans, on the other hand, I do appreciate what they're trying to do, but I think the diet is very unhealthy. It's better than the standard American diet, but I think it's very unhealthy. Yeah. That's pretty much all I got to say, honestly. Let's see what Brennan said. I'll add 2+ pounds of shredded beef roast with salt every day. Never gets old. Yeah, I agree. That stuff is good. I was having a conversation the other day. I guess this guy was he's a good guy. Got a great attitude, great personality. But me and him simply had to just disagree. Like, not come to an agreement, not learn to work at each other's level, but just know that what we're in it for is we're in it for the betterment of people's health. But he was on the carnivore diet recipe group, and me and him was having a conversation. He said, it's simple as this. Eat meat and water, and that's it. I said, no, it's not. It's not as simple as that. Do you know how many people I've had to fix over the last couple years from trying a carnivorous diet by just eating meat and water and ending up in the hospital? There's quite a few people. They end up in the hospital, they run their labs, and they find out they're super potassium deficient. And then what do? They're potassium deficient, and their heart's beating so fast it feels like it's about to pound out of their chest because they're low on potassium. They have nothing to control the potassium, or nothing to help control the rhythmic rate of their heart, to help with their blood pressure, things of that nature. All this stuff ties in. So it's not just simple as eat meat and drink water, and here's why I beg to differ. I think that's the way we should be eating meat and water. So no, you are wrong, sir. I'm going to tell you right now, coming from 15 years of doing this, you are wrong. It's salt, meat, water, and if you can't consume enough meat to get enough potassium in, then you have to supplement potassium to make up for those levels you don't have. There is a certain amount of potassium your body's supposed to have every single day. And we can throw numbers and stuff around, but those numbers are not even accurate. You might go to Keto Gains and find out they recommend 1,000 milligrams of potassium minimum per day. It's not 1,000. You might go to my group and see that I have a general recommendation of 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams of potassium every single day. It's just a general recommendation. You could find that you get by with 2,000 perfectly fine, but if you go up to 3,000, you just don't feel right. Everybody is, I call it bio-individually different. Your mechanics are not the same as mine are not the same as the next guy's. We all require different thresholds of different things, and we are each individually very different based on our genes, the lifestyle we live, and the way we want to carry ourselves every single day in our activities, our hormonal levels. All this stuff changes everything. And I was trying to explain to this guy, it's much more than just eat meat and drink water. There are minerals that you have to replace that you will not get through your meat if you do not eat enough of it. And he said, well, I don't think that's the way we were meant to eat. I think we were meant to eat just meat and water. I said, I think you're wrong, sir. Actually, I said, I'm going to tell you right now, I know you're wrong. I know you're wrong because of the amount of people that I have to work with every single day on all my Facebook groups and stuff like that. A lot of them have to supplement sodium and potassium in some kind of drink mixture. I know some people are going to reference the snake diet guy. I hate that guy. I don't hate that guy. I dislike that guy. I don't want to talk about that guy. And when people call it the snake diet, I cringe because that mixture that he's coming up with, he's just added one thing to it. That's been around since the 90s. My parents were starting small forms of fasting back in the 90s with sodium and potassium. So it's been around. And he's an idiot anyway. So I don't even really want to talk about that guy. He knows about fitness. He's very good at that. He knows about fasting. That's it. Once he starts talking about medical terms and keto and all this other stuff and carnivorous eating, I turn the channel out immediately. The guy does not know what he's talking about when it comes to that stuff. You got to eat this raw, you got to eat that raw, you got to do this. Keto is catabolic, you're going to lose all your muscle and stuff like that. The guy's a quack. I listen to him when he comes to fasting and working out. That stuff he does know. But I know about that stuff too, so I don't even need to go to him for that. But electrolytes, minerals are very, 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 very important. And it's just not about eating water or drinking water and eating meat. That's not the case. There's a lot of people that have to do other things in their life to keep up on their potassium levels and stuff because they're naturally potassium deficient. Their body doesn't retain a lot of potassium like other people do. So I was trying to explain that to this guy, and he said, we'll just have to disagree and agree at the same time and just move on. I said, I agree with that. I don't like the fact that somebody would tell just drink water and eat meat. That's all you need to do. That's not true. You need salt, you need potassium, You need meat and you need water. Those things all together need to be done. And if you do that, sure. If you add some organ meat in from time to time, sure. But there ain't no just eat meat and drink water. This is not the Sean Baker diet. Sean Baker didn't come up with the carnivorous diet to begin with. There were people that were eating red meat and eggs back in the 60s and 70s that were bodybuilders, and that's what they used to cut before their bodybuilding competitions. Some of them would actually run it long periods of time. So this has been around for years and years and years. And Sean admits that the way he does carnivore is not necessarily the ideal way to do carnivore. I mean, he'd use the salt. He might use some herbs or something sometimes, but he eats ribeye every single day. He doesn't even eat a balanced carnivorous diet. So you want to find somebody that eats a balanced carnivorous diet, you look up Dr. Paul Saladino. Dr. Paul Saladino, S-L-I-D-N-O, S-I-L-D-I-N-O, Saladino. He's trending on, he eats mussels and livers and, kidney and all this. He eats a balanced carnivorous diet without all the dogmatic stuff. And he is the smartest doctor when it comes to the science-based terms, explaining what goes on inside the body, explaining exactly what you need to supplement. Like, if you have a grass-fed butter, you're getting more butyrate, or what did he call it, butyrate or butyrate or something like butyrate or something, whatever it was. And by having that in your diet, you simply have what it takes by having that in your diet, you simply have what it takes for your body to convert that into short-chain fatty acids that you're missing on a carnivorous diet. So using grass-fed butters is beneficial and should be done, so you make sure you get all your short-chain fatty acids through a conversion process. And the dude is smartest doctor that I've seen talk about the very specific science terms and how they work so far. I can put him on the spot, which I brought him on my Facebook group, my keto group, and I was asking him questions on the spot, and he was spitting out the answers one after the other without even thinking about it. The dude is a whiz, young, hungry, smart, and a carnivore doctor, and he blows these other doctors away like you wouldn't believe. He's just like Sean Baker is when Sean Baker talks about all the medical terms and stuff like that, except the enhanced version of Sean Baker. And he's very, very, very fit, very slender, very nice build. I think he does like jiu-jitsu and surfing and stuff like that. The guy's he's a great doctor to listen to. If y'all haven't checked him out, Dr. Paul Saladino. He does have his own YouTube channel here where he talks about nothing but the carnivorous diet, all the mechanisms that work with it, and he's different than all the other doctors. Yo, just check him out. Just check him out, please. All right, I don't want to hold you up here no more. I've been on here for 53 minutes, and about 50 of that I've been running my trap. So I hope you all have a great day, and be blessed. Pray for me that my employer pays me my paycheck, because that's what I was supposed to help live off of for the next 2 weeks after moving. If you're not a praying type of person, go find him and kick his ass. Tell him to give me my money then. Well, don't really do that, but still. Anyhow, I appreciate y'all. Be blessed. Have a great day.